August 17th, 1952. In the dead of night, something unimaginable happened. A quiet, unassuming farming community named Ashley, Kansas, home to just 679 souls, simply ceased to exist. Imagine a town, vibrant and alive one moment, and the next, just an empty expanse of prairie under a dark sky. What you're about to hear is a story that has been whispered in the shadows for decades, a chilling tale of a town that was swallowed by the earth. No one saw it happen. No one heard it coming. But the aftermath tells a story that defies all logic. The official record is a void, a blank space where a town used to be. But the unofficial accounts, the stories passed down by those living in the surrounding areas, paint a terrifying picture. They speak of a night where the sky didn't just turn dark, it glowed an ominous, blood red. The ground didn't just shake, it trembled, vibrated with a deep, guttural rhythm, as if a colossal beast was stirring from its slumber deep beneath the soil. And then, at precisely 3:33 a.m., an unnatural, deafening silence fell over the plains. It was a silence so profound it was said to hurt the ears. When the sun rose that morning, the truth was laid bare. Ashley was gone. Not damaged, not evacuated, erased. Roads that once led into the heart of the town now ended abruptly, crumbling into empty fields. The houses, the church, the general store, and most chillingly, the 679 people who called Ashley home had all vanished without a trace. It was as if they had never been there at all. For 5 agonizing days, the world was left with nothing but questions and a gaping hole in the Kansas landscape. Authorities were baffled. Search parties found no debris, no signs of a struggle, no explanation. It was a perfect, impossible disappearance. And then, something broke through the silence. A faint radio signal, weak and crackling with static, pierced the airwaves. A woman's voice, barely a whisper, filled with a terror that was palpable even through the distortion. "This is Ashley," she said. "The ground opened up. We are still here." The message was a bombshell. "We are still here." Those words changed everything. They weren't gone. They were trapped. Authorities scrambled, trying to pinpoint the origin of the signal. The results were bone-chilling. The transmission wasn't coming from a nearby town or a hidden shelter. It was coming from directly beneath the earth where Ashley once stood. They were broadcasting from inside their own grave. Almost immediately, a wall of secrecy descended upon the area. The U.S. Geological Survey, along with other, less identifiable government agencies, arrived in force. They established a perimeter, sealing off the site from the public and the press. Anyone who claimed to have witnessed the strange events of that night was visited, questioned, and strongly encouraged to forget what they saw. Their stories were dismissed as local folklore, mass hysteria. Official maps were quietly redrawn, and all state archives mentioning Ashley, Kansas, began to mysteriously disappear. It was a systematic effort to erase not just the town, but the memory of the town itself. But you can't erase a voice that refuses to be silenced. The calls didn't stop. A week after the initial disappearance, one final, heart-wrenching transmission managed to break through. This time, it wasn't a desperate woman. It was the soft, frightened voice of a child. Through the static, the words were faint but clear. "It's dark now. The sky isn't blue anymore." And then, nothing. Just the hiss of static, a sound that would continue, uninterrupted, forever. The voices of Ashley, Kansas, fell silent for the last time. So, what really happened on that terrifying night in 1952? Was it an unprecedented geological event, a freak earthquake of a kind never seen before or since? Did the ground liquefy and swallow the town whole, preserving it in a subterranean tomb? This is the most common scientific theory, yet it fails to explain so many of the bizarre details. The red glow in the sky, the precision of the disappearance, and the strange radio signals that followed. A sinkhole of that magnitude should have left a crater, a scar on the landscape. But the ground where Ashley stood remains eerily flat. This leads us to the darker, more conspiratorial theories. Could the disappearance of Ashley have been the result of a secret government experiment gone horribly wrong? The 1950s were the height of the Cold War, a time of clandestine research into unconventional weapons and technologies. Some researchers point to projects involving seismic weaponry or even early attempts at teleportation. In this scenario, the town of Ashley wasn't just a victim. It was an unwilling test subject. The rapid cleanup, the official silence, the erased records, it all points to a cover-up of immense proportions. Were the residents of Ashley sacrificed in the name of national security? Or perhaps the truth is something far older, far more primal than government conspiracies or geological anomalies. Local Native American legends from that region have long spoken of the plains as sacred, but also dangerous ground. They tell stories of earth mouths, portals to other realms that can open without warning, and of spirits that dwell beneath the surface, jealous of the world above. Did the settlers of Ashley unwittingly build their town on such a place? Was the red sky a warning? Was the tremor the land itself rejecting their presence? In this version of the story, the town wasn't destroyed, it was taken, pulled into another dimension, another reality from which there is no escape. The child's last words, "The sky isn't blue anymore," take on a truly terrifying meaning. For over 70 years, the story of Ashley, Kansas, has remained a chilling footnote in the annals of the unexplained. A town that existed and then didn't. A community of 679 people who spoke from beyond their own grave, only to fall into eternal silence. The official story is that there is no story. But for those who know where to look, and more importantly, where to listen, the mystery is far from over. Every year, on the anniversary of the disappearance, August 17th, locals and paranormal investigators make a quiet pilgrimage to the empty plains where Ashley once stood. They say that if you stand there as night falls, you can still feel a faint vibration under your feet. And some claim that if you listen closely, with the wind just right, you can still hear them. Faint, ghostly whispers carried on the breeze. The lost voices of Ashley, still calling out from the darkness below, waiting for someone, anyone, to finally listen and uncover the truth. The mystery of Ashley, Kansas, is a rabbit hole that goes deeper than you can possibly imagine. With recently declassified documents and eyewitness testimonies that will change everything you think you know about this case. If you want to explore the evidence and dive into the full, uncensored story of what truly happened to the town that vanished, make sure to watch our next in-depth investigation. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the unknown. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our deep dive into the Ashley, Kansas, files. Because some mysteries don't stay buried forever. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.